should be together in a little heaven beside the silvery sea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the sun sets each evening here in Waikiki, we hear the sound of the pukani, the native Hawaiian conch shell. The International Marketplace welcomes all of you to this vahipana, this storied place known as Kalua o Kau. We begin this evening's procession with the lighting of the Lamaku Tower. E au lamakako, let the torches be lit. E komo mai, we welcome you to join us now at the Queen's Court as we present O Nalani, the Sunset Stories, here at the new International Marketplace. Welcome and aloha.
Queen Emma and their beloved son, the young Prince Albert Edward Kaleopapa, affectionately known as the Pride of Hawaii and Kahaku o Hawaii. We honor this special ohana, this family now. Huli. Deep in the heart of our island lies its center, its Pico, and we begin there at a place called Kukaniloko. Home of the sacred birthing stones, at this site were born some of our most important of our chiefs. We call them our alii.
Kawika, kawika Waikiki, kawika manakili. O kukaniloko ko ala ke kupano hokula kala kua. Kai hanau iona ali voi hoi a ohava inei Nōku kani loko kopu aloha ke kupano hokula akala koa Kai hanau iona ali voi hoi a ohava inei Kui ka mai kai kui ka lana kina Wale ki kui le a ki he hoko ki pano ka malihini Apa amai o kai ka uhi vai o ki hau anoi ki kua Kui ka mai kai kui ka lana kina Hale hale mai ana ke ala ke ala o malino anu Au i ka vai kua i kua vai ho he no ana ali ka vai kai kui ka lana kina Nā mamoho i a ka kui he wa ana kua kana i au kuni Nā rula mai a pōla nei maka i lau ki palua Kui ka vai kai kui ka lana kina Ahe puku vai kua me ka viva ole i malu hi ano ka lahumi Hui pau ia mai nā ai lana mai hawa i ani i hau Noho o malo ia me ki kau i ke mamala hoa kana vai Hai nā ia mai ana kapuana no kukani loko kopu aloha Hei hui ka mai kai hui ka lana kina Hei noa no ka wawa, ka kui hewa
The lands upon which our centre sit are known as Kulua o Kau, and was area in Waikiki once belonging to our royal family and where they had one of their homes. Unfortunately, as a family, they wouldn't be able to enjoy it for long as our young prince passed away at the tender age of only 4. Less than a year later, we had also suffered the loss of his father, our king, they say, dying of a broken heart. It was a sad time for all throughout Hawaii, but especially for our queen. But with the aloha, the love of her people, our queen was able to endure these tragic times.
Ma Coco. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, wale oe ka o manu leo na he o ka uka. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, wale oe ka o manu leo na he o ka uka. No ka ke ala ilia hi ka hiko i ka laula au. No ka ke ala ilia hi ka hiko i ka laula au. Wana we mai oe i ane i a kau i ke ano ahi ahi. Wana we mai oe i ane i a kau i ke ano ahi ahi. Huli hoi hana ia ka malama ia i ho ke aloha. Huli hoi hana ia ka malama ia i ho ke aloha.
Her people call to their queen, "Where are you, O sweet-voiced bird of the forest?" In the upland, the fragrance of the sandalwood perfumes the leaves of the trees. Return to your home where you can find love. May love be your constant companion. This is our praise, and may all hear the name Emalani.
Haina kapuana ilo he ia o e malani no he inoa. Haina kapuana ilo he ia o e malani no he inoa. E ala e a Hei noa no kalele o nalani.
Long may the name of our queen live on. Thank you, ladies. Once again, to all of you joining us here this evening, aloha hiahi, and welcome to Onalani Sunset Stories. Sit down and enjoy. Aoya, ahilo, analilo, Queen's Garden this evening for Onalani Sunset Stories. Tonight you and I are going to take a trip through the rich living history of our beloved Waikiki. It's Mo'olelo, sharing the music and dance of Hawaii and one of our Polynesian cousins, and also give a bit more history about these lands, a gift from our royal family to their people to show their aloha for their people in perpetuity. And as we do so tonight, well, it's just an old custom. With my it's just an old Hawaiian custom. When I say aloha to you, and I'll sing for you a plaintive melody. You feel good, make you happy. Oh, it's just an old Hawaiian custom. Just an old Hawaiian custom. It is a pleasure to welcome you all here. My name is Kawika, and we start exploring the living history, the mo'olelo of our beloved Waikiki, with the meaning of its name. In Hawaiian, Waikiki, with emphasis on ki means spurting waters, but has nothing to do with the kai, or the ocean. It instead focuses our attention on all of the fresh water, or vai, that flows from the mauka, or mountain regions. The valleys of Waikiki, Manua, and Pololo are the source of this wealth, and later I'll tell you what our Mahi'ai, our farmers' foal, did with this. But right now, our lovely Olapa, our dancers, want to share about the beauty of one of these valleys, as they do for you this lovely hula, Nani o Manoa. You know, here at our marketplace throughout the years, we've always had a wonderful combination of experiences waiting for our visitors and our locals to enjoy. That combination has included great dining, great shopping, and of course lots of fun to be had by all. Well, and in the early days that fun was had at a pub called Duke Kahanamoku's. Mr. Duke Powell Kahanamoku helped to make famous the sport of our people, surfing to the world, and of course that beautiful spirit of aloha. But you know, what we'd like to do is in his honor and memory, with the help of his handsome Beach Boys, wish all of you a warm aloha, to which you respond, yay, that was good, but you didn't quite get the waves. So just like surfing, timing's everything. We're going to try this collectively again. Here we go, kahiloko, aloha! There you go, now you got it. You know, the Duke and his Beach Boys, they love to share the waters of Waikiki with our locals and our visitors. Being able to take our visitors out for surf lessons, and you know, if they didn't quite get the hang, no problem, because our boys would take them out and go tandem surfing. And when the waves are large enough, well, out would come the canoe and they go canoe surfing. Always keeping our visitors and our locals safe, keeping our beaches filled with aloha. If you were lucky enough to have the Duke on duty, well, you were in for a treat. So our gents are going to show the Duke truly was larger than life. You know, another wonderful tradition our marketplace has always had throughout the years is being able to provide great entertainment for people to enjoy. And over the years, all the famous names in Hawaiian music, people like Don Ho, Kuili, Genoa Keawe, Kimo Kahawano, they've all made a home here, welcoming our visitors and entertaining our locals as well. But you know, our true star has always been our hula, our dance. So far this evening, you've seen our hula kahiko, the ancient, which opened our evening, and our hula awana, our modern. But there's another genre called the hapahaole, and it's one that became very famous around the world, for you see, it caught the eye of Hollywood. And once that happened, well, the rest became part of our hula history. Our lovely maidens return to share some of our favorite numbers of that era, dressed in the themed cellophane skirt. Enjoy as our Hollywood starlet shine. All the time in the tropical climb where they do the hula hula dance. I fell in love with this tropical dove while doing that funny dance. This little kid, well, she never did. I've been loved before, so I made up my mind. I struck mine, the only girl that ever adored. Well, I love the pretty little hula girl with her little wiggle. Girl, she can surely make you giggle. You know, when our marketplace first opened its doors in the 1950s, it created quite the buzz and stir about town, for it was unique and first in several ways. You know, today, no matter where you and I travel, we're very accustomed to finding shopping centers. One location where we can find everything that we may well need and or want. But you know, in the 1950s, being able to come and have a curated set of shopping experiences and dining experiences that varied from things like a massage center to a jewelry store to a magical parlor to a sundry store, all in one location, was very, very new. As this concept was making its way across post-war America and in the 50s, well, for Hawaii, our marketplace was one of the first of these such shopping centers. But it was also unique in that it was a themed destination. Now what I mean by this is that it wanted to create this South Pacific kind of feel that would sort of kind of almost take you out of the beauty that was Hawaii and Waikiki and transport you to another place. Well, to do this, they created and modeled the marketplace, creating a village based off of what was very popular at the time called the Tiki Club culture. Now, the Tiki Club culture was made up by a person named Don the Beachcomber who had a bar and restaurant here by that same name. Now, as I said, it was made up and of course reflected that tiki bar kind of environment where you'd go in and it was sort of dimly lit and had kind of tiki torches on the outside and various iconography. But you see, because it was made up, not everything was really representing our peoples of the Pacific. And so when you look at cultural authenticity, well, our original marketplace didn't quite have that in spades. But it didn't mean that we were lacking in authentic cultural experiences to be discovered. Those came in the form of visiting artisans and craftsmen who were invited by our marketplace to come and represent their peoples and cultures through their arts and crafts. Creating these items, they would be made available for sale, and our visitors could purchase them to take home as pieces to have in their home or gifts for other loved ones. But more importantly, the time was there for our visitors and our artisans to talk story. They really truly functioned as cultural ambassadors representing our peoples and cultures of the Pacific. And our marketplace truly did become a center for international cultural exchange. But again, another fun way to be able to take in the different music and dance was by attending a luau show. Seeing different dance traditions of our peoples of Polynesia, we'd like to feature one from the Isle of Tahiti called the Festival Drum Dance, or their Ote'a. Ladies and gentlemen, haere mai, yorana! Time in Waikiki's history of Polynesian pop culture, dancehall, and the Hapahaole tunes became famous around the world. But right now, we'd like to focus our attention back to our royal family, specifically focusing on our gracious queen, who once called Kalua o Kauho. Queen Amakalale o Naalani Naya Rook was born on January 2nd of 1836. Born to High Chief George Naya and High Chiefess Fanny Kekela Okalani Young, both of her parents descended from the Kamehameha House of Nobility. As it was a custom in her time, Emma was hanai or adopted by her mother's sister, High Chiefess Grace Young Rook, and husband, Dr. Thomas Rook. Emma grew up assisting her father in his medical practice, a work which would later give her the realization of the needs of her people for access to modern Western medicines. With this realization, it became the mission of our King and Queen to give of their private time, monies, and lands to be able to construct the first modern Western hospital called the Queen's Hospital, today known as the Queen's Medical Center of Hawaii. Opened in 1859, its sole mission was to provide free universal health care for their subjects. Our Queen, very much aware of this gift and this gift of Hula, life, that was given through these modern medicines, made it even more impactful when she had the unfortunate tragedies of losing her son shortly after the opening of our Queen's Hospital when he passed away in 1862. Followed by his father in 1863, our Queen made it her mission to ensure that this gift of Ola, life, through the medical care given through our Queen's Hospital would be around in perpetuity. She therefore created a trust, and when our Queen passed away, all of her lands and wealth, including these beneath the center, became part of that trust. The rental income generated from the other lands and these underneath our center continue to help financially support our Queen's healthcare system and give the gift of Ola, life, to their people. We honor this legacy, this gift of life, Ola, and these lands by providing a living manifestation of our royal family in the form of our Queen. This evening, representing our Queen is our very own lovely Leilani. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Her Majesty Queen Emma Kalaleo Naalani. You know, here in Hawaii, names are so important. And the reason that they are important is because they are not something that you are only given at birth, but actually names that you can accumulate throughout your lifetime. This name that we just gave to Kalaleo Naalani is actually a name that was modified. For its first iteration was Kalaleo Kalani, which means the flight of the Heavenly One, given to her at the time when her son in 1862 passed away. Following the death in 1863 of her husband, that name became Kalaleo Naalani to reflect the flight of the Heavenly Ones, the two chiefs. And you see, the reason I share this is because we're accustomed to going by names and calling out names of our friends and loved ones, but more importantly, names here in Hawaii also contain history. This is the reason why we share the meaning of Waikiki, land of spurting water, to help take a deeper dive into the history of this place in which we are presently located. You see, with all of that vai, or fresh water that flowed historically into this area, it made the perfect environment to raise the staple crop of our people. You know this plant is taro, we call it kalo. Our Hawaiian people were excellent horticulturalists, having crossbred and raised over 600 different varieties. And for the longest time, Waikiki was carpeted in this beautiful green gem of a plant, the life force of our people. So whether it be through the raising of our kalo, our taro, or through the gift of life, through the foundation and the support given to our Queen's healthcare system, we honor the Ola, the life of Waikiki, with this lively number, Kaulagano El Emalani. Enjoy. kings and queens of Hawaii, especially Kamehameha the Great, the founding father of our unified island kingdom nation, to whom we are forever grateful. For joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We so enjoyed our time with you, and if you did as well with us, please leave us a nice note at tripadvisor.com at the International Marketplace. And if you don't have any dinner plans, we've got a great assortment of sit-down restaurants on our third floor or our cool heel food court right next to Target. On behalf of all of our dancers, myself, and our International Marketplace, mahalo for joining us, and a very warm aloha.